Creating the miracle on the Taedong River. North Korea's Workers' Party can implement a market economy. Episode 2. A North Korean-style Yucha market economy is possible. The path to North Korea's prosperity, state capitalism, Part 2. So, when the United States puts decisive pressure on North Korea over the issue of denuclearization, is there any way out for the top leadership in Pyongyang? Of course there is. But it needs to be a little more seasoned. The only way out is to lead North Korea down the path of state capitalism. Without significantly shaking up the current system, we will officially adopt capitalism, which is an essential environment for economic development, and transform it into state capitalism, which is a proven success formula for economic growth in underdeveloped countries. Capitalism is a market economy premised on the rule of law, and it is not unfamiliar as it is already practiced in communist countries such as China and Vietnam. If you don't want to explicitly say capitalism, you can call it a socialist market economy like in China. If you don't like terms like reform and opening because they are Chinese, you can call it a Yuche market economy. Still, rather than cowardly clinging to the word socialism to hide the essence of capitalism, I recommend that you boldly drop the word socialism and directly use terminology that reflects the nature of the Constitution, such as capitalism or market economy. Why is state capitalism the only exit at this point in North Korea? This is because if we begin the transition to national capitalism first and take the lead in abolishing nuclear weapons, we can maintain the system and create a new path for national revival. If North Korea decides to denuclearize, the international community will certainly pay an economic price. But in the current closed environment, such money cannot help economic development. For the economy to develop, it needs to be open, but the system will be shaken. There is only one way to protect the system but not give the outside world a reason to invade. So there is no need for nuclear weapons and no reason to insist on closure. And that is the way of state capitalism. Because state capitalism is the adoption of the rule of law and the market economy, the international community recognizes it as a definite change in North Korea. China is also a de facto state capitalist country, and the United States is capitalism itself. Ideological antagonism with mainstream developed countries such as the United States is weakening, and we are now on the same side in terms of economic system. And this transformative decision will eliminate hostility and distrust toward the Pyongyang system, allowing for a much greater scale of economic payment and support for giving up nuclear armament. All we need to do is tie ourselves together economically, eliminate hostility, eliminate the very possibility of invasion, and make nuclear weapons unnecessary. And capitalism does not conflict with North Korea's current system. Centralized system and capitalism go well together. In particular, it has already been proven in many countries to be a decisive factor in the rapid economic growth of underdeveloped countries. In countries such as Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, and China. Among the latecomers after World War II, only these countries entered the world's advanced economies through rapid economic growth. But they all have one thing in common: they pushed for a state-led market economy under a centralized authoritarian system. Democracies such as Thailand, the Philippines, and India were initially better off economically but have now fallen behind. This is because centralized systems had an advantage in selection, concentration, and strong driving force. Capitalism is not unfamiliar in North Korea. The lower economy is already returning to the market economy and de facto capitalism. The socialist planned economy that remains at the top is not very different from the state-led market economy. It's just a matter of aligning the market and planning. Capitalism is now familiar to the North Korean people. Informal capitalist rules dominate daily transactions and actual livelihoods across all classes from top to bottom, not to mention the market generation. Now all we have to do is formalize that informal capitalism. If we officially adopt capitalism, which is already ingrained in us, the people will welcome it. They were a people who felt uncomfortable while engaging in the inevitable and natural capitalist act of non-socialism. So there is no need to close down to block capitalism. Whether in Korea or the United States, there is no longer any fear of information from the outside world. Rather, it's something you have to learn. It is true that there is a huge gap in living standards, but it is not unknown, and now that we have a goal to catch up, it gives us motivation and a sense of accomplishment. Strong centralized leadership and driving force gain legitimacy from the people through rapid economic growth. Power is evaluated more by what results it produces than by who holds it and how. The current power system may not be a major problem for at least 20 to 30 years of rapid growth of state capitalism. In China and Vietnam, the benefits of rapid economic growth and improved living standards were attractive enough to give up some of their freedoms to starving and poor populations. In the next few decades, there will be a greater possibility that North Korea's national system will be chosen by the people, but a dynasty that has succeeded in enriching the country through rapid growth may be rewarded with a constitutional monarchy. For North Korea to give up its nuclear armament and move forward on the path of state capitalism, the environmental condition of peaceful coexistence with South Korea is essential. There is no need to talk about unification or division. If we continue to deny reality when we have no will, no ability, and no trick to overcome the heterogeneous gap, it will be of no help to North Korea or South Korea. Unification? Division? Since the outcome is uncertain and appears to be a matter at least several decades from now, the urgent priority is for North Korea to create a realistic environment that eliminates the regime's survival risks posed by immediate nuclear armament, and for South Korea to eliminate the threat posed by North Korea's nuclear weapons. North Korea could open its doors to the world through state capitalism, while South Korea could broker a four-nation agreement involving the United States, China, Japan, and Russia to guarantee North Korea's permanent security. North Korea will use the funds received from denuclearization to accelerate economic development and create a miracle on the Taedong River in 20 years. South Korea will establish a mutually complementary economic structure with North Korea and receive the gift of an expanded economic stage connecting to the Eurasian continent through North Korea. Global warming is revitalizing economic development in the North, and if South and North Korea enter this region as a team, we will not only enjoy synergistic effects, but also lay the foundation for future unification. Starting from the next episode, I will cover in detail the step-by-step processes and key tasks of North Korea's journey toward state capitalism, starting from its very first steps. I sincerely hope that those who watch our channel will not be hurt by this. Even if some do, I would be grateful if you could generously understand that this is done out of a sincere desire to encourage bold challenges that face reality. I hope you believe that we can, at the very least, give the North Korean people the imagination for a new future and the courage to take on challenges. Thank you.